And welcome back to some more Splatoon action.
Okay, so now we have Team Ceaphalopods versus Team A.
So, Team Ceaphalopods here, we've got a substitute because myself, I'm on commentary, and one of our other members had plans he forgot he had.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. So, Ceaphalopods has Cross, I believe? Is that? Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I know his name is Chris.
Yes. Let's get ourselves over to... Oh, wait, I'm not doing that.
You are doing
I'm
that.
so used to doing this part of it, but here I am, just sitting here watching it happen.
Calling out rainbows now. She doesn't have the Cephalopods tag on.
Not showing that team spirit. I'm disappointed. Not really. Rainbows is awesome. She actually was on her own professional, Splatoon
Competitive
team. Competitive team, yeah, sorry, competitive, not professional.
I would say professional, competitive team.
but-
There is professional teams though in Splatoon. We actually do have sponsored teams in the Splatoon community. Not locally, but
They exist?
They exist.
Ghost Gaming is one of them.
Was one.
Was one?
Their contract ended.
Okay.
I think they're now known as Team Olive again.
I follow some of them on Twitter, and I cannot remember because they've not been attached to my phone for a while.
We have Loki is another sponsored team at the moment.
Yep. Hive is done, right?
Hive, yes. Hive was done for a little bit. They're known as Deep Blues right now.
Okay, sorry. Gotta respond to something here.
So we are on to what? So I looked it up. We are on round 2 of the tournament now. We've got, well, let's see, another 2 games here. This is the winners bracket. So it's still best of 5. We've
Still
got
best of 5.
new maps and
new map list.
New map list. There we go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see tower control in the infamous Moray Towers. Now, Moray Towers is a map with a lot of ramps. Your spawn is at the highest point of the map, and the ramps keep getting you down into the middle, and the middle is the lowest point of the map. And a lot of people hate this map.
It's growing on me, but I'm still have a lot of dislike from this. This is a returning map from Splatoon 1, and it favors chargers, which are typically my nemesis.
So you see here, we're on tower control. I think the safe point on this one is the second checkpoint again.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, the second
checkpoint.
Because there's only 2 checkpoints. On the other map we were on, there was 3. This one's got 2.
So, yeah, as you can see, most teams just beelined it down there. Honestly, the ramps leading from your spawn down are just there to inconvenience you, which is one of the reasons why people don't generally like this map. It's long and all those ramps can be annoying. But Team A gets on the tower early. Oh! Boost Craig gets taken up by a stray bomb.
And Team A now is 3 down, so Team Ceaphalopods here are going to try and push up, get some get some ground.
Whoa.
Bombs are good for that.
Absolutely.
Kiwi here getting 2 kills, very nice.
Wow. Making work of that bucket. So, there's a class of weapons called sloshers in this game, and the main advantage is that they can slosh over ramps and walls. They've got so much fall off that if somebody's hiding behind a little pillar or a barrier, you can just slosh right over it and get them.
Yeah, so you see here, we've got Cross here sitting on tower. The rest of the team pushes up and kind of clears the area out to make sure no one can get close to this tower.
Throwing a suction bomb down there just to force somebody who was peeking out there down up that ramp.
So those are curling bombs.
Sorry, curling bomb. I said the wrong thing. My bad.
So curling bombs, as the name implies, they're like a curling rock, and they move in a straight line until they hit, and they can bounce off and stuff. But you can also hold on to it to make it explode sooner.
Absolutely. Team A, nice defense there. I was a little worried for them because Team Ceaphalopods is still back there. Had a lot of potential just to keep them pushed away from the tower, but now they've moved the tower, and now the Team Ceaphalopods has to move up with it. So any sneaking ink that they had is probably going to get covered up. They're going to have to make that push. Oh!
Kiwi here is just doing phenomenal with those splat bombs. Getting some good predictions in with those bombs and getting a lot of picks.
I don't know if that was intentional, but considering what we've been seeing, I assume it is. That was amazing.
Splat bombs are nice in the way that you kind of put them in where you think people will be, and you just kind of hope you're going to get something.
Yep.
A lot of them are sometimes accidental.
the amount, it uses a decent amount of ink, not as much as some other subs, so you can refill pretty quickly.
So in order, we've got burst bombs take up the least, with splat bombs, and then suction bombs taking up the most. Curling bomb takes up, I think, as much as a splat bomb.
I don't use them as often as I used to. Oh boy, I will come in with a hammer! Nice pick, there's the knockout.
There's the knockout. I think even Crosshair could have actually gotten that kill if the hammer didn't, so.
Yeah, I think they're in pretty safe standing. Team A was right back at spawn, so they couldn't make that push back. And with a hammer there, and I know Cross is a pretty competent player, like he's pretty good, they would have difficulty getting him off.
Oh, he's rank X.
Yeah, oh yeah, he good.
Damn, I got replaced by somebody better. Ouch.
And yeah,
I'm only S plus in all modes, not X. X. So you see all these letters beside each of the players' names on the end screen
the
there.
result screen, yeah.
So the result screen. So C is the lowest rank you could be in any mode. It is the base rank you get put into. So you have to work your way up from that. So next, as you can imagine, goes from C and then you go to B. There is B plus, minus, and neutral B. So you kind of have to kind of get your way through it.
Yep, you'd go from C plus, and then when you rank up again, you'd go to B minus, then to B, then to B plus, so on and so forth.
I think you skip B minus. The only time you get into minus is if you lose rank.
Well, oh really?
I think so. I think they just straight put you into B.
I don't know. For A rank, I know I started in A minus.
Oh,
I had
did you?
to work
Okay.
my way up. Maybe because I'm just not good enough.
Anyway, so yeah, then you go from the C's to the B's to the A's. S was the highest rank in Splatoon 1, and in Splatoon 2 they added X rank. So X rank, once you hit X, it's not based off of plus minus anymore. It's based off of your points overall.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get too much into that because we're not going to see solo rank modes here. But that's what those letters mean beside each player's names at the results screen.
Ideally, they would give you a rough idea of their overall skill, but I know that Kiwi is a bit of an exception because when we were playing at Salt Flats, he was just hanging around spectating and he thought the game looked fun, picked it up, and he typically doesn't play solo queue where you rank up those ranks. So on the last match, it showed him as a C minus, I think, or a C, but I know for a fact he is better than a C rank.
Well, we saw him do a lot of work during that last game.
Absolutely. So while it's a decent indicator, it's not the be-all end-all.
You also see some people like Clan Blitz. You might be X rank and everything, but some people avoid Clan Blitz, so they might only be S plus in that.
Absolutely.
We'll see Rain probably have that. I myself, I hit X rank in Splat Zones and then D ranked because X works a little bit differently than the other modes. So you can get D ranked if you're not active enough or go below a certain point average.
Alright, so here we are at Splat Zones. At Starfish main stage with Splat Zones. Coming in. Both teams have a pretty good composition, a long range on each side. Mid-range, not. I guess the Kenta splatter shot is their close range on the orange team there.
Yeah. So, just like the other modes, or the other Splat Zone we saw, it has one zone here as well.
Right in the middle, and as you see, there is a good place for the long range weapon.
Ivo.
Ivo, Queen Rude, man.
Hunting down.
Wait, he's using Kensa Mini, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's a Kenta Mini.
So that is typically a backline weapon, but
So it'd be because
backline mid.
backline mid because it is a splatling, but this is a shorter range splatling than you see with the others, but it has a high fire rate, and
Yeah.
you can charge it up midway through fire.
Splatlings in this game, in order to fire this gun, you have a short time where you have to charge it up, rev your engine just to get those things going, and then you get to unleash a volley for as long as you charge it, basically. And that's why I was surprised to see him push up so far forward, because as using a splatling, you have a bit of charge time before you're able to fire, and having him that far up.
Oh, splat bomb! I was like, how did he get knocked out? We got 5 seconds here remaining for Team Ceaphalopods, and that is a knockout.
Ceaphalopods just did not let them back in. Amazing plays on their part. I hardly had enough time to explain what a splatling is before that match was over.
Yeah, lots of different weapons and subs and stuff in this game.
Yeah.
We did cover some of the bomb subs in this. We didn't cover some of the non-bomb subs. So we've seen some point sensors being thrown around earlier in some of the matches. There's also subs called beacons that allows you to jump to them.
Yeah.
Instead of just your teammates.
I don't know if we fully explained jumping in this game either. So you can press a button on your controller to bring up a mini-map when you're playing. And from there, you can jump to any teammate you see on the map. And that just lets you get back in the action quicker, but you are typically very vulnerable when you're doing that. But if you put a beacon down, it does the exact same thing, but it's just a stationary thing going on. So it does also have, beacons have the advantage of letting your map show any enemy teammates who are nearby there as well.
Yeah, and beacons can be seen by the other team on the map, so they sometimes might go after those beacons or camp and wait for you to jump to that beacon.
Absolutely.
So you still have to be careful with the beacons, but it is a usually safer jump. The subs that we have are sprinklers, so as the name implies, it is literally just that. It is a sprinkler, and it sits there, and it just sprays ink. It's got the same suction as a suction bomb, so you can kind of put it anywhere.
Typically, people like putting them up high where somebody has to aim up in order to hit it, which gives you an opportunity to shoot them or slap them with a brush when they're distracted with your sprinkler.
It also just helps get your special up faster.
Absolutely. They use up a ton of ink to use the sprinkler, but once again, it's a set it, forget it kind of thing. You throw it where you don't see any turf put down, and you just swim away. And that builds your special and just inks that turf for you.
So like point sensor, there's another sub as well that gives out locations. Forget what it's called.
Ink mines.
Ink mines. So again, those are a cross between a bomb and a point sensor, in that it explodes and gets off your location.
It does a tiny bit of damage, but it's very rarely used as an offensive weapon.
I've been killed by them before if they planted like 5 in one area. It hurts.
Yeah, no, there are definitely certain places where you know people are typically gonna go through, and if you can push them through there, yeah, you can get some sneaky picks that way.
Alright, so on to our next match here. We're at Rainmaker at Arowana Mall. Arowana Mall is another returning map from Splatoon 1. Slightly changed, not too much. It's a very narrow map.
It's a very long map, so we're going to expect to see a lot of those stingrays coming in. Since it's a long, narrow map, you just have to move it to the left or right a little bit in order to get people.
With the exception is this one, while it's narrow, it's not like one of the other maps that's pretty flat. This one's got a lot of ups and downs, so you can still get away from those stingrays pretty easily.
I mean, it's Rainmaker though. Once again, when you pick up that Rainmaker, you are 100% visible to the other team through walls. So it's very easy to aim something like the Stingray at you with the Rainmaker. So
not should be explained yet with the Rainmaker too. If you leave a Rainmaker by itself and not its original location,
I don't see this
for
very often.
For an extended period of time, it will start to blink and then it will return back to the middle on its own. You
with
can
the
also,
shield renewed.
Yeah, with the shield renewed. You can also reset the Rainmaker on your own by taking it and jumping off the map. If there's a spot to jump off the map with.
That was a lot of crazy, like, back and forth there for a little bit, but it looks like Ceaphalopods took advantage of that and they've got the Rainmaker back.
Yeah, so they're going to make a nice push here because blue team here was 2 down earlier.
Once again, Stingray from up high. What is this 2-way Stingray coming up? That's crazy.
2 Stingray run, yeah, that's a fairly aggressive Stingray.
Very aggressive.
You normally will only see one person play Stingray because you only need the one road to stop a push. You wouldn't typically need 2.
Yep. But there's once again, some teams have compositions that work for them, and if they know how to work 2 Stingrays, then that's what they're going to use.
So to push the Rainmaker in this area, there's 2 ways you can kind of go again. You've got the narrow left path here that's behind a big wall. Then you've also got this big mid area here that you can try to push it through. But in the end, you're always going to have to go through a narrow path near the spawn. Absolutely. If you can get it to that narrow area, you're pretty good. If you can get it past that, you're golden at that point.
Yep, absolutely. And the weapon that Kiwi's wielding here does have that sub that I used there, Splash Roll, a defensive sub weapon that, as you saw, just puts up a big weapon that enemy shots cannot get through. I think with the exception of the Stingray.
Stingray might be able to get through it. If not, it breaks super fast anyways.
Yeah. You can shoot the wall to get rid of it faster, but you're wasting your own ink to get rid of that. And yeah, in narrow alleyways like that, the Splash Wall is very good for just shutting down pushes or giving your team the protection they need to push forward. So...
And you need to mention here too, in regards to specials in this particular mode, if you have missiles can now target the Rainmaker. It never used to before. It's a recent update that happened about 2 months ago.
Oh man, I was watching Ivo go, once again, a backrunner pushing up forward, but he had the hammer, so he had his sights there, and if people came to challenge him, he could use that hammer to take him out.
Now, I noticed here on Team A, they've got a lot of long-range weapons.
Yeah, and you saw them just there, just sitting on top of those walls there, just taking people out.
Yeah, you've got a slosher type weapon on Team A, and it's kind of more of a mid. So here we saw the Rainmaker reset because nobody had picked it up within a lot of amount of time. So now it's back in the middle where we saw it at the beginning of the game.
Yep. And even though, oh no, wow, they popped that real quick.
Pretty quick. Oh,
Jeez.
good. I didn't miss that.
So
here we see them get to this narrow area that I was talking about earlier. You have to go through this no matter which way you go.
yeah, this choke point is very difficult to get through just because the other team has walls they can hide behind and they have a height advantage too. And not to mention, just if you're trying to swim up that oh man!
That is a really good push.
That's a good push. It's going to be very tough to get the Rainmaker back from where it is. So I think they're probably going to just play defensively for a bit and wait for the other team to just take it out.
And yet, I was sitting here super aggressive once again.
Oh!
Taken out
by a Rainmaker shot. Alright, so
someone there,
Team A is taking the Rainmaker out of that little choke point because it's right next to the goal, so they have to, but now
Team A is 3 down. They've only got the dually sculptures up right now, so they're going to have to try and...
Ross, can you do it? Can you get Ink on that mound? Oh.
No, didn't get that point any closer, but they still got it pretty close. So Team A here has a lot to do now to try and get this.
It's going to take, once again, coordination and special to push this thing back, because as of right now, Team Ceaphalopods, they are just, even though they're getting taken out, like picked off a little bit here and there, they're still maintaining pressure, not allowing them to take that Rainmaker any further past.
So you saw Ivo there being a little patient, kind of holding back a bit, waiting to see where the would be before making his move.
Oh boy, they've got control of this small court. Oh my god.
Now, going behind the Rainmaker doesn't put the points down any further. You have to get closer to that pedestal now.
Yep, it's just a distance straight to that pedestal. 10 seconds left. If Team A can keep a hold of this Rainmaker, they're going to bring it into overtime, which means that they have one small chance to get some points on the board and make this push. Stingray coming out to try and support this Rainmaker.
So the Crosshair is hunting. He's going for it.
Oh, Splatoon coming down. There it is.
So as soon as we hit overtime and that Rainmaker is dropped, that ends the game.
Absolutely. Oh boy.
Overtime works very different in all the modes. If we ever get to that point, we will explain it then.
Absolutely. Was that third match? I feel like it was.
We had Tower, we had Zones, yeah, this is the third match. And
so
that is 3-0 for Team Ceaphalopods.
Oh boy. That was some good times. So anyways, while we get set up for the next match, we're going to mute the mic and take a quick break. So we'll be back in a little bit. Bye-bye.